No ban?
Waiting for one thing. Waiting for it to upload. Waiting for it to upload. Don't know what's taking forever.
What we got the band's asleep? They
Hold
thought they were off for the night?
I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to add something here. Here we go.
Uh-oh. Sirens? Are we getting sirens or something? I don't hear nothing. There we go. Oh man, I thought we were having our band. One more. Yes,
right.
breaking news.
How about that?
Susan Slusser of the San Francisco Chronicle has just reported in the last 15 to 17 minutes that Jorge Soler has signed with the San Francisco Giants. This is good news. This is the start to showing maybe they're looking to be competitive. So I like this move. Bravo, Farhan Zaidi. I have been tough on you, and I will continue to be tough, but I also am fair. And I like this signing. This is a legitimate power hitting DH that the Giants have lacked
for a
while. This is a shot at 30 home runs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is a
first
shot
time since what, Barry Bonds, right? 30 home runs.
Yeah. So bravo to Farhan Zaidi for getting this signing done. Again, Jorge Soler has agreed to a 3-year deal. We were just on the air 15 minutes ago. When did we sign off? About 15, 20 minutes ago?
Like 10:19, I think 20 minutes ago.
No. All right. And we're back on at 10:39. So had to gear up.
I was getting ready to put my show together.
I know.
I got Farhan, but that's okay. That's okay.
So we get the news that the Giants have signed Jorge Soler. Take it away. I got to go take an allergy pill. I'm going to sneeze again.
All right, go for it. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, it's good to see. Got some movement out there. This is our first breaking news we could do this year for the Giants offseason. So yeah, it's great to see. We needed a threat in the lineup to be able to do this, right? Now the key is you got to get someone else to protect him. He's going to need protection in the lineup. We'll focus here on what Soler can bring, but let's hope that this is not where it ends. This is where it begins, right? Let's make sure that this is where it begins, not where it ends. Real quick before I bring up any clips, let's take a look at his baseball reference, right? Let's see what we got here. All right. Get rid of that. All right. This is last year. Batting average, on base is decent, 341. OPS 853. That's really good. OPS plus 128. That's just taking in consideration of the ballpark, which he's used to hitting in a big ballpark, right? Miami is not a small field. As a matter of fact, it's one of the biggest parks, right, in the major leagues. And he was able to hit 36 bombs in said ballpark. So I think his power will definitely play in Oracle Park. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a little bit different because the atmospheric conditions may be a little bit different. But, hey, I think he's still going to be able to pop him out. In 2022, not so good. I think he had a lot of injuries, if I'm not mistaken, in 2022.
Back injury.
There you go. 2021 had a decent average, 269, still decent on base. Had 14 bombs. That was within, and that's when he won the MVP, right? In 21. The MVP for the World Series, that is. And then, of course, he had the big year in Kansas City. Whew, 48 bombs. But then again, that's Kansas City, too. You got to take into consideration a ballpark. But even though they did, he still had a decent OPS plus. So, yeah, we're getting a bumper, guys. Getting a right-handed thumper in the lineup. We'll see what he can get done. Now, I was saying this before you, as you left, Dan, is I hope this is just the beginning and not the end, because I think he's going to need some protection in the lineup. No?
Oh, definitely. This can't be the end. Got to thinking about this as I went and grabbed a few chips. Crunchy. There's a possibility that they still go with Matt Chapman. And here's the thinking on this. Veteran right-handed hitters in Oracle Park versus lefties. Maybe your lefties happens to just be Lee and Yaz and Wade. And
Conforto.
Well, you got Conforto too. Yeah. I don't know. They might maybe you can move off of I don't know.
If we're only going to get one more guy, can we get Bellinger? If we're only going to get one more guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not big on Chapman at this point in his career.
No.
Watch his numbers dip. But
JD Davis and Schmidt at third can do just as much as what Chapman would do.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting traded, man. So, Bora?
Hey, Bora, you want to come in? Haven't heard from you in a while. Did you send me the link, Eric?
No.
How do,
No,
I
you
got it right
yours.
here. I don't
Yeah.
need to do that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you should have it right there.
Yeah. We'll see if Bora can come in and give me a break.
Let me take a look at that. How many strikeouts did he have? 141 strikeouts. Whew. He's your 3 true outcome guy, right? 141 strikeouts, 36 home runs, and a 341 on base, which means he walks. So, whew. Wow, walks, and he also gets hits as well. He's give him about 10 minutes. He's in a car right now, Dan.
All right. I just sent him the link, so. Wow.
You worry about that? Are you worried about that, Dan?
What, the strikeouts?
Strikeouts?
Part of the game. I wonder what JD Martinez is, where he's going.
Oh, good point. KM, hey, haven't seen you in here before. Welcome. I'll take those strikeouts. Many elite bats. I strike out a lot. True. Got a point. That's kind of where the game has gone.
Who would you rather have, JD Martinez or on maybe a 1 or 2 year deal, or Soler?
Oh my God. I brought that up. Remember? JD Davis is actually better than Jorge Soler.
Martinez.
Did I say Davis again? I said Davis, didn't I?
Yeah.
JD Martinez actually has a better track record than Soler. I can show you the numbers, guys, if you want. Granted, there's an age difference. I get it. But he's a DH. And I think JD Davis. But the thing is, there's no way in hell I would sign JD Davis or JD Martinez to a 3-year deal.
He wouldn't have been asking for one.
Good point, Matthew. I was just thinking the same thing. Very good. Soler is not a Boras client. So if Farhan is going to sign multiple Boras clients, according to Baggerly, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. JD Martinez is good. He's an excellent bat. And that's what he's going to be there for. He's not going to be there for.
This is an interesting signing because it shows that guys are going to start, they want to play, they want to get into camp, and games start 11, 12 days, right?
Yeah, less than 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Will Martinez. Yeah, a legit Cuban. Is a fellow Cuban American. The last Cuban the Giants had, I believe, was Osvaldo Fernandez. Yeah, the pitcher.
Yeah, a lot of crunching going on. I'm eating
Is
Boston baked
Soler a
beans.
DH only? Senior ask. He can
I don't
play
know.
some outfield. He can play. He doesn't play a lot out there, but he can.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I want him out there.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if you need him out there.
Okay, come on, Jim. Okay, Soler's good, but he's not a superstar. But okay, he's not a super duper star. He's a bat. Don't get me wrong, but come on.
Oh, you got chips too, huh?
Nope. Boston baked beans.
Oh, he said he heard chips crunching in the background. Maybe they were mine. I stopped.
That's you're crunching for sure. Yeah.
I'm done now. Yeah, Brett Dower. It's an all-time power move. Yeah, when it's 11:45 and you thought your evening was done and you're starving and you get a kind of a late alert, you're kind of like, shoot, we just missed our first breaking story live. We got to come back and do another one. So
yeah,
show number.
Me and you were in the green room getting ready to shut everything down.
Yeah, and then you go, oh man, they just signed Soler.
And thanks to Senior, he was on it. He let us know right away.
Yeah, thank you, Senior. Thanks to our correspondents out there that we have all over the network. In fact, people haven't been texting me yet. Robbie DeVille, is he in the house? Soler. I'll let him know first.
There you go. The darkness wants to know who were the Giants bidding against? Good question.
Yeah.
You know what I think it was, Dan, and we talked about it earlier in our first live. Was that third year? I think that was the bugaboo for other teams.
Yeah.
They didn't want to sign a third year.
Yeah, that's why I said just go ahead and get it done.
And I'll give Farhan credit. The Bay Area was pretty low today, right?
Yeah,
pretty damn low.
Maybe he was waiting for it, thinking, "Hey, if they lose."
So he kind of perked the interest of San Francisco Bay Area sports fans with this signing. So,
yeah, I mean, it would help if he could maybe swing a deal for. Buster's snoring. Hear him?
I hear him.
Yeah, I ran him hard again tonight. Yeah.
Soler highlights.
Who could you make a trade for that would rock the boat, that would get Giants fans? Let's hear from the chat.
Yeah, here it. Go for it. Yeah.
Let's hear from the chat. Name a player that the Giants Farhan could trade for in the next 24 hours that would get you out of your misery, your funk, your depression. Mike Trout. That was who I was thinking. No, Benji said so at the deadline. Like right now, this week, today, tomorrow, you get news. I'm just curious who that player would be. Chasger, Pete Alonso. Who should the Giants sign? Bellinger, Snell, Chapman. Trout, Tatis, or Vlad Jr. Eddie K. I like that. Who's realistic out there? I would love Tatis, man. I would give up Bryce Eldridge, Luciano, Matos, Harrison or Wisenhunt, not both. Probably take a couple more guys. I'd even throw in Duvall because I got Hicks. I'd go Duvall. Let's say it's Duvall, Harrison, Matos, Bryce Eldridge.
What's up, Cliff?
Crawford. Take a couple more. Luis Arias. Yeah, that would get me excited. Yeah. We've got a Luis Arias. I'm seeing Alonso, Vlad Jr., Arenado, Gonzo.
Hey, Jarhead, that reminds me of a trade that Dan was talking about.
Which one? Wait, Mike says Dan Eric couldn't wait till tomorrow. Well, we were still in the green room.
We're in the green room just chatting away.
Yeah, so we're like, there we go.
Hey, Dan, do you know what I just thought of? Remember that little suggestion you had of what the Giants should do?
Which
that's
one?
That's one down.
One down.
You said Soler, right? You said
right.
Trade Yaz and
Conforto. And sign Bellinger. Snell and Soler. Yeah.
Yes, you did. Interesting. All right, here. You want to see the highlight of what he did at Oracle Park? Pretty good. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. I got the sound down too. Here we go. Here we go.
Against Wood.
Wham! Against Webb. Look at that.
In Oracle.
Yeah, it's at Oracle. Look at that. Boom!
Where the heck did that go to the top?
That went to the top, the one row from the top, and that's Coors Field, but ball flies there, so you can play a couple of more here. Boom, Coors Field.
Let's see them all.
All right, fair enough. Here we go. Colorado out there. I'm not gonna get too excited. Come on, I've seen enough of Coors Field.
Ooh.
Angel Park. That was a big one. Damn, look at all that gold. You know what a swing reminds me of? Giancarlo.
Yeah.
That violent swing.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting because, whoa.
Boom.
Was that Cease?
Oh, that was, what's his name? The lefty from Arizona. Was it? No, never mind. That's Middleton.
Where are these highlights from, Eric?
Last year. Boom, opposite field.
That's not gone in
Castillo
Oracle.
against Castillo. Castillo. Ooh, that was a jam shot. Yep, nice. Oh, do you see the English on that? It hit the grass and spun away. It had some English on it.
Wait a minute. Oh! Go back a little bit. Can you do that? One? Just that English single. Did he not even get a double?
Look at whoop.
But yeah, did he not get a double?
Let's see.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, he smashed that one.
Speed's not his
forte.
Yeah. Oh, look who's here.
Nope, someone here. Hold on. Hey, kill it.
Someone's at the door. Hey, Bora.
How you guys doing?
Bora.
Good. We did a show earlier tonight at 8:30. Got off the air and the news came out, so we came back on. But we opened our show up tonight, first 20 plus minutes or so, and just dealing with getting out the gunk from yesterday's loss with the Niners.
Oh man, that was tough.
That was tough. That was one of the most gut-wrenching, maybe the worst gut-wrenching loss as a 49er fan I've seen.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, this takes the sting off a little bit.
It does. So
Is it-
I'll give kudos to Farhan. He
Yeah.
kind of helped the Bay Area a little bit with
do
that.
we know what the AAV
Terms?
is yet?
Nope.
No,
Anything?
probably
know it's
probably
Swedish, yeah.
guessing somewhere 15. I'm going to guess 15 to 16.
Okay.
That's
This is the only news we have, and this is what it is. So,
Okay.
I don't
It's
think
not
Solskjaer's
much,
going to
but,
put that out. Yeah, it's not much.
Do you guys think this'll make who am I thinking of? Slater or Flores expendable?
somebody.
I think
Somebody.
some right-handed hitting bat, because
Or do you think they're going to platoon first base? Maybe that's a position that they platoon between Wade and Flores.
I think, yeah, if they platoon first base between Wade and Flores, then I could definitely see Slater on the move, because I mean he really doesn't have any spot there.
I agree,
mean,
Darkness. I was waiting for the pass and tweet too.
Soler he's not a good defender at all, but I mean if you need him to play a few innings, he can do that. He has a great arm, I know that.
Tony is saying 3 for 51. Where are you getting that from, Tony?
Andrew Baggerly.
All right, hold on. Let me get the tweet. Is that what it is?
You want me to pull it up, or are you going to pull it up?
I'll do it right now.
Yeah, just go to Baggerly 23 minutes ago. He's just this is right on subject what we're talking about with a trade.
Maybe they trade Ramos. That could be another guy.
I think it's, according to Bags, he thinks it could be trade Conforto, Davis, or both on the move.
That would be great. That would be so good.
Yeah. See, I think both of those guys moving.
Ooh.
I think that might be tough for me to get confirmation this late tonight, but Susan is a pro's pro, so take this as gospel. Giants appear to have the right-handed pop they lacked. Just my speculation, but this would seem to set up a trade with Conforto, Davis, or both on the move. Now, earlier,
interesting
week and a half ago, I said sign Soler, trade Conforto, trade
Yaz.
But Davis would fit in just as well with Yaz because the salary's just about $1 million apart from Yaz.
True.
So the point is get that salary down so that you can sign a Bellinger.
Somebody's been watching NorCal sports
or reading my Twitter, right? Now, here's the thing, guys, that I'm going to say this, that if JD Davis is traded, I think that probably is not for Casey Schmidt, but more for
Chapman.
For Chapman. I do think that I've said I'm against the Chapman move for a couple reasons. One, I don't want to block Casey Schmidt. And two, let's see, pull up Susan Slusser's tweet.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, got a new one on there. Power hitting. Okay, we might have the deal on the open up the Chronicle.
It might be. Yep, I can't get to it. You're gonna have to try to do it, Dan, if you can. I could probably do it through the cell phone.
Yeah, let me try and see if I can pull it up here, guys.
Or I just can read it, one or the other.
Let me see. Okay.
Rosenthal's reporting it too. Let me check out Rosenthal then.
Okay, I got it. I'm going to pull it up here. Share screen. Okay, article there.
Yep.
Is it? I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. So Giants trying to contend with Southern California teams full of star power have reached terms with a slugger who crushed 37 homers last year. The Chronicle learned Monday night that the Giants have agreed to sign DH/outfielder Jorge Soler to a 3-year deal with a physical pending. The financial terms are unknown, but the annual average value is likely to be 12 to 17. Yeah.
Okay.
I said what?
15
to I said 15 to 16. Yeah. I think it's right. I think the third year probably drops it. They might have gotten away with a 3-year, $40 million deal, which would be awesome because Soler was looking for more years.
Do you think the third year might be an option, or do you think it's pounded in there?
I'm not sure. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting. Soler, 31, made $15 million with Miami last season, while Hoskins signed a 2-year, $34 million deal. Soler has averaged 32 homers over 162 games in his career and had a 1,021 OPS in 28 playoff games with Cubs, Braves, and Marlins. 21 with the Braves. He was the World Series MVP. Okay. Giants remain in the market for help on the infield, with third baseman Matt Chapman a possibility, or shortstop via trade, and another starting pitcher is also likely to be on the wish list, with several top unsigned starters still on the market. Adding Soler might signal a move elsewhere, though third baseman J.D. Davis, who won an arbitration case team last, seems more likely to be on the move if the team were to acquire Chapman, while Michael Conforto and Lamont Wade Jr. both hit lefty. Right-handed hitting Wilmer Flores led the team in homers last season, as a valuable piece off the bench and filling in at first. Yeah, I think I've said this. So Flores is the perfect piece that you want on your bench because he can be a pinch hitter. He can fill in at DH now and then. You can imagine if you had a need for both Flores and Soler against the right type of left-handed pitcher you're facing.
Yeah.
He's the perfect 10th man. He really is.
Yeah, he really is. He's a good, great analogy. 10th man.
He can play first. He can play second. He can play third. He can play short if he has to.
If he has to, and he can DH.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think Conforto would be. I think Conforto's on the move. Somebody said he took all of his stuff down last week off of his Instagram that related to the Giants.
Can you see his Instagram?
I never saw it before.
Oh,
so I don't know what was on it. But this is the move that. See, I don't think they wanted Conforto back,
right?
But he's. See, I think if you can move Davis and Conforto, then keeping Yaz makes sense.
If you let's say you move Davis and Conforto, what's your outfield looking like? Is it Yaz in right, Lee in center, then Matos in left? Is that what it is?
Maybe Matos, or it could be
Ramos or
Slater. I don't think Slater's an everyday player, though.
See, that's the thing, though. It doesn't really make sense to have a lefty in right, a lefty in center, then 3 lefties left, or 3 righties left. I would think, right? I don't think they would want 3 righties on the bench. That just wouldn't really make sense. And then you would have Flores on the bench again. I would think they want a left-handed pinch hitter or something. I don't know if you have that if you get rid of Conforto.
Yeah, but I don't think Conforto's really here at $18 million to be a pinch hitter.
I mean, that's true. Yeah. I mean, unless they, I don't know. Unless they get a Bellinger, then Yaz is your pinch hitter, is your 4th outfielder. But I don't know if they can get rid of Conforto and not do anything, and just because if they get rid of Conforto and don't do anything, who is their left-handed bench bat? Do they have one?
Well, this is what I was talking about. I was saying get rid of Conforto and Yaz, but you can still have Yaz occasionally.
I like Yaz as a 4th outfielder because he can play. His only gripe is his injuries, because when he's been healthy, he's been great. It's always he's ramping up, he's starting to get hot, then he gets injured.
Yeah, I like Yaz as a 4th guy too. I think
if he can play 4 games a week in that realm, 3, 4, 5 games a week, and just you can limit his at bats, and keep him healthy, that'll be good for assuming you can make the playoffs because he'll be fresh.
Right. So
For this to work, though, you got to get protection for Soler in that lineup.
You got to get protection for
got
Soler. I mean, what's the lineup looking like right now? You have Lee
Right now, you
batting
got
first,
Lee, and then
Estrada probably, then Soler, JD
or they have
Davis
him
maybe.
Cleanup, maybe.
they probably got Soler in the 4 spot and Yaz in the 3, or
Yeah.
or
Or even if they don't trade Conforto, then Conforto would be in the 3 and Soler would be in the 4.
Well, if they don't trade Conforto, would Yaz or Conforto start, or would they go a 3 left-handed lineup outfield? Would they go Conforto in left,
they're not
Lee
going
in center, and Yaz in right?
Conforto's either playing or he's off the team.
Yeah.
He's not here at 18 million to sit.
Right.
Sit. They're going to move off of Conforto quickly if they got somebody. It depends what their next move is. I mean, I said all along I'd love to have. I think if my ideal situation would be Lee in center and Bellinger in right field, and put, say, Matos out in left, and Yaz is your 4th outfielder. Maybe you end up platooning a little bit of Yaz and Matos if Matos isn't hitting well every day against righties. But
Did you say Lee in center?
Yeah.
I don't know if Lee's gonna be able to play center. I think he has the range, but I just don't know if he's gonna have the arm. I would have.
Yeah, well, he
Bellinger
may
play
not
center.
have the arm. He may need to move to left.
He might.
We'll see.
Because the thing with Yaz is he plays a great right field. He really does.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows that outfield. He's a super smart defender, and he has a great arm. I mean, he's gonna have a great arm, but he has a really accurate arm. I mean,
I'd rather have Lee or Bellinger. Someone said in center. I'd rather have Bellinger in center too.
Now you're talking there.
I think that was my lineup that I put together, wasn't it? Didn't I put Bellinger in center if they had him and Lee in left? Maybe I did.
Yes, you did.
I did. Yeah.
But I mean, getting back to what you said, Dan, if they trade JD Davis and then sign Chapman, right? I think right now, if they're still talking about signing Chapman, I think it's like Chapman wants that 6 to 7 year deal, and Farhan just does not want to give that. I think Farhan will go like max 3 years with maybe a 4th year option, maybe. But I just don't think he wants to give Chapman all that money when he's 31 already, and he's already on the decline offensively. I would say if they get rid of Conforto, if they get rid of Davis, plug and you get Chapman, I would think there might be a battle for that shortstop position between Luciano and Schmidt, because Schmidt's proven to play shortstop pretty well. And I mean, Luciano's not like a lock to be this starting star right away. He's had back injuries. He's had injuries throughout his whole minor league career. I mean, Casey Schmidt played last year. He played a good defense. He played a good third. He played a good short, and he played a good second. So they know he's going to give you solid defense. Luciano's a little bit of a wild card defensively. He has improved, but he's I don't think he's that elite defender like Casey Schmidt is or could be. I think that's a real possibility. Whether it's Casey Schmidt or JD Davis fighting for that third base spot, or JD Davis or Casey Schmidt and Luciano fighting for that shortstop spot, I think there's a real possibility that Luciano isn't like this starting shortstop right away.
Yeah. I do think they're going to start off with Luciano unless they do make a trade. But I've got a
because I mean, trade. Last year, David VR was the starting third baseman.
He was the starting third baseman. Yes,
exactly. Yeah. I think JD Davis and
well, here's the question: who's going to play third base right now? Right now, it's kind of up in the air.
I think it's a camp battle right now. I really think it's a camp battle between JD Davis and Casey Schmidt. The winners of the camp battle is going to be the starting third baseman. And I think I think JD Davis is another good bench bat. Because I mean, early in the season, he was great. I mean,
he got overplayed.
He got overplayed.
Yeah.
He hasn't. I don't think he's played a full season ever in his career or recently.
Yeah, he got tired.
So
no
it's
doubt about it.
sort of. I mean, it's obvious he got tired. The whole team got tired.
Estrada got the same way. at second
Estrada
base.
got injured, then he didn't really get back to his way. I mean, that's the thing. I think you need Schmidt. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get rid of Schmidt, but I think you need a Schmidt Davis combo or even
That's
a
fine.
Schmidt Chapman combo, even because
The
I
only-
don't know if you can give Casey Schmidt the third base job and be like, you know what, play 140 to 150 games there, and we'll see what happens. Because I think even if he gets off to that great start right away, he's gonna struggle towards the end of the season because he's just not used to.
Well,
having
he even
this
said
long
he said right
season.
here on NorCal Sports Network, guys, go check out the interview that we had with Casey Schmidt. He kind of got in a funk. He admitted it. He kind of came up and what was it after he got hurt? Right? Isn't that what he said, Dan? After he got hurt, he came back, kind of got into some bad habits, went back down to AAA, then came back up and felt like he figured something out. So he admitted, he was struggling. So it's good. I think I would love just to see him get the go at third base. I really would.
I really would too. But I think also if he gets the go, you can't just, I mean, what I was saying, you can't just play him 6-7 days a week. You have to sprinkle in a JD Davis if he beats JD Davis or someone. Or even if they
not
sign
necessarily a platoon, but you just gotta
exactly,
get it's load management.
Exactly. Even if they sign Chapman and Luciano's the starting shortstop, right? And they get rid of JD Davis, I think Schmidt should be playing at least 5 days a week. He could play third a day, he could play short a day, he could play second a day. He could rotate between Estrada, Luciano, and whoever's at third. Because I mean, Estrada hasn't been the healthiest. He hasn't played a full season really. Luciano's been injured. JD Davis has gotten tired. So I think you can't just have three fielders and just a bunch of average to below average bats in the bench. You have to have a fourth infielder. And I think if Casey Schmidt isn't the starting infielder, wherever he is, whether he's at short or third, he needs to be that fourth infielder that plays a lot. Because I think he is poised for a breakout year. He could be at least.
Yep. You're putting together a trade, aren't you, Dan?
I am. I've got it. I'm trying to throw in another.
I knew what you were doing.
You can read my mind, huh? Or read what I'm looking at.
Oh, right. Here it comes already, Dan. Do you want to get after this? SF Giants Mania. I'm waiting, Dan. What are you going to say about Farhan now? Fundamentals, please.
You already missed the opening. Go back and look at the opening.
Yep.
Go look at the openings. I'm not going to repeat myself. Yeah. Just go look at the opening.
There you go.
Okay.
No, you guys see that they also signed what's that guy? The guy that got into a fight?
Oh, Amir Garrett.
Yeah, Amir Garrett.
Yeah. To a minor league deal. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. I already said he just can go beat the shit out of the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
if the Giants are starting to go south, hey, just Amir, go take care of that, man.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the contract? All we know right now, it's 3 years between 12 and 17 million a year. That's all we know.
I would like for it to be a full 3-year deal. I would like for him to be committed here 3 years. I don't like these opt-outs because it just gives the player an out, it gives the organization an out,
and the fans get someone to root for.
It gives the fan an out though too, because I mean it shows that you're not all in. And if you do that 3-year contract, that sort of signifies that you're starting to go all in and you have a plan. Because if these opt-outs are just like these 2-year deals with 1-year opt-outs is just a way to get a compensatory pick, basically.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's basically what it is. You don't feel confident in your team and you're just signing him just to fill a spot. With that 3-year deal though, if it's a full 3-year deal, I think that signifies something.
And it's reasonable too.
You guys ready for the deal?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I'm not I'm not going for Chapman. I'm going. Who am I going for? See the teams?
Oh, I know you're going. You're going Bregman.
You got it.
Yep.
There it is, guys. Giants giving up 4 guys, even a higher value.
Who the hell is Joe Whitman and Cole Foster?
Cole Foster was drafted last year, shortstop, I believe, out of Auburn. And Joe Whitman was pitcher taken for the compensatory pick. I believe it was for Rodon. This guy's not a bad pitcher. He's got the same value as Carson Wisenhunt. Lefty.
Interesting.
How many years left does Bregman have on his deal?
1. He's a free agent after this year.
That's
why
you have to extend him though. You have to have the guarantee to extend him.
I don't know. I think
I would take him even for a year, but I would love to extend him. But I'm not worried about because I'm getting rid of JD Davis, who's going to be a free agent. I think the Astros. The reason I don't know if the Astros would take this deal, but the reason you're gonna have to give up more is because JD Davis, unless they can sign Davis is not a bad third baseman, and he came up in the Astros organization. In fact, he was minor league AAA player of the year when the Astros were in Fresno, I believe. But the reason I like Bregman, if you pull up Bregman and watch him hit, he's perfect for Oracle Park. He's a dead pull hitter. And you watch balls to left field down the line. It's not that deep at Oracle. Bregman would hit
he
really
gives some
well.
damn good at bats too, man.
Yeah,
he's a great hitter.
I would go with Bregman at third, even if you only had him for the year. You got Casey Schmidt behind him, but he's not. He's affordable right now till he. I mean,
how many years left of arbitration does JD Davis have?
This is it.
This is
his last one.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't be shocked if they trade JD Davis. I wouldn't.
Oh, I'm expecting that.
Because
I expected it even before this deal. You know why? Because they let him go through arbitration.
Exactly. That gives you bad mojo between. I mean, if you're having to bring lawyers involved,
right?
For what, like 300,000? I mean,
and
$1 billion.
And in arbitration, the team will bring out all the warts and everything that you did, and it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's take a look at JD Davis. I mean, excuse me, Alex Bregman's salary. See what he's got. Can you guys see that?
You can't see that.
All right. I'll tell you what he's making. He's making $30 million this year, and he's a free agent after next year. So he's second on that list, right behind Verlander. So he's 30 years old. I think he's represented by Boris Corp. If you can get a long-term deal done, if not, take on the salary. Does Houston have a need for an outfielder like Conforto? I don't.
They have Kyle Tucker.
They got Kyle Tucker.
They have.
They got Dubon that plays out there in center, right?
I think Dubon just plays everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
They got Jake Myers. They got Tucker.
I think that Chaz
McCormick.
I don't know many people
center fielder.
I would want Conforto, like the A's. Maybe could give Conforto the A's.
You'd have to pay if it was the A's, you'd have to pay $6 to $8 million of that salary. They're not going to pay more than 10 to 12.
I'm fine with that as long as you get Conforto off the team. Because I think right now you have your. I think the starting lineup is somewhat settled, and then you have a bunch of these guys that are just somewhat sitting around that average mark. I think you just have to get rid of some of these guys to free up some of the other guys.
Here's
and
a
the young
question,
kids.
Dan. Isn't the Astros above the CBT?
Yes.
This will get them below it, won't it?
Yes.
Okay. That could be that could not necessarily the players so much as getting rid of the salary.
Would they
Well,
want JD Davis or would they want Casey Schmidt though? That's the thing.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
might
that's a
want
good point.
Schmidt, and that's why I didn't put Schmidt in the deal, but they might want Schmidt.
How old is Alex Bregman? Let's see.
30.
Is he 30?
He's 20. He's 29. So
Okay.
if you know what, if you could get Alex Bregman and you could extend him for like 4 to 5 years, I would be fine with giving up Casey Schmidt because you know what, you got your third baseman for the next 5 years.
Right.
If you don't extend him and you let him test free agency, I don't trust Farhan at all to get that deal done. So I need to keep on to Casey Schmidt because I mean Casey Schmidt could be a star. He could be a legitimate all-star.
They
Would
got to
want
give him
Schmidt.
that run.
They would want Schmidt, and he would be their everyday starting third baseman. They might do the deal if it was Schmidt and Davis, and then they'd have a backup. Have Davis be the starter if they think Schmidt's not ready. I don't know.
I think Davis would fit that team though, because Abreu's their first baseman. He's getting old. He didn't have a great year last year.
JD Davis would be excellent on the Astros.
JD Davis could fit in at third, and he could fit in at first as well. I mean, yeah, everybody's bringing up the point that Bregman's a Boris guy. Didn't what's the guy's name that signed with the Dodgers? Glasnow sign before he hit free agency, right?
Didn't he have? He's not a Boris guy though. I don't think.
I thought he was a Boris guy.
I don't think so. Yeah, because they negotiated that extension, right?
Just look it up.
Here's another thing.
I can look it up right here on COTS and see if
the Giants still need to get another starting pitcher, though, guys. You got to get that protection in the lineup for Soler for the bopper, but you also got to get another starting pitcher. We just can't roll into the season with Webb and then a bunch of
Glasnow's with Wasserman Group.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So has any Boris client signed early, or is that
Yes?
just like
one just signed an extension without leaving. Who was it? Who I told you it last week, Eric? Who was it that just
signed an extension?
Signed an extension and didn't go through. Oh, Altuve. Boris guy. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit different because he wants to finish his career as an Astro. So that was on the player there.
Scott Fowler says Giants would have to pay at least $10 million and give up. I don't think it would be $10 million. I think 6 to 8 would do it.
I mean, if you're looking at Conforto as a player, like he didn't have a good year last year, but that was also his first year back from
I think he has a bounce back year.
Surgery. I think he has a bounce back year too. I think he could have like 20 to 25 home runs.
Oh, I'm expecting him to hit 20 plus. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a realistic possibility, and it's like that would be great. But you know what? He's just so there's so many guys on this team right now that fit that mold.
Who's with Cincinnati? Who's Cincinnati's first baseman now that Votto's kind of out? Is it?
I don't know who it will be.
Carcion? Is it in Carson on
Carcion
Strand?
Or is he a third baseman or a first baseman?
I think he's a third baseman, but
I think he played first as well. I mean, I think that who do they have? They have Matt McClain. They have
Cruz is short.
Who's their outfield?
Who's their Benson is good in the outfield. I know Benson's good. I think
because I'm
their
thinking,
team is super young.
I'm thinking Conforto would be really good there because Conforto that's like a Cracker Jacks box field.
That's right. They picked up Candelario for third base.
Oh, Cincinnati did?
Forgot about that. Yeah.
So I think Strand is the first base.
Because I think Conforto, he could learn to play first. I mean, a lot of guys learn to play first in their career. But Conforto could be – who's their DH?
I don't know.
Why don't we look at their team right now?
Let me pull it up here.
Take a gander.
Let me pull up Cincinnati.
So again, guys, do they trade for a starting pitcher or do they get a free agent?
I think I would. You got free agents right there. Those prices are dropping. I'm telling you, they're not getting 9 years.
That's why no one is signed.
Yeah, if
two-
someone was going to pay that, they would have already been. They would have been signed.
I think they get one of Montgomery or Snell, and then you know what? I think Wisenhunt is going to start the year on the pitching staff.
You
I
think?
think so. Because I mean, what's their rotation right now? It's
Well, we
Webb.
just figured it out. It's
Webb,
it's
Hicks, Harrison, Wickenben, or Winnenbeck.
Wynn and Beck.
winning back.
See, I don't know if Wynn and
Wynn and
Beck are gonna.
Yeah, I
I
know. I that's
Because I mean, Wynn unless Wynn is developed
same
at
thing
third
with Hicks.
pitch.
Is Hicks really going to last in the starting rotation?
Not
I mean,
long. I don't
Hicks. I think Hicks and
Bullpen.
Doval would be an elite
Awesome.
8-9
Elite.
duo. That would
Agreed.
just be elite. You would solidify the 8th.
Oh
and
man,
9th
if you
inning
put
pretty
Hicks
much.
in the 8th inning and Duvall behind
in the
him,
ninth? Oh man, that's you're basically locking down 2 innings.
Or you know what? Even what might be even better is you put Hicks in the 7th, then Tyler Rogers in the 8th,
Oh, it
and
makes up the
Doval
right,
in the
left,
9th.
right. Yeah.
It's hard. No, not. I mean, it's like 100+ mile an hour fastballs. Then it goes down
Oh,
to
and then
80
goes-
mile an hour
right.
fastballs. Then
Gotcha.
back up to 100 mile an hour fastballs. That messes with hitters.
Well, the thing is if you're going to go into because you're not going to face the same as a reliever. Usually, you're not going to face the same lineup again, anyways. So it really doesn't make because you don't have to have that deception because it's going to be different. You're going to face different batters.
That's
the
true.
Reds. I got the Reds roster here. Their top paid players are Nick Martinez and Frankie Montas. They're making $14 million each. Candelario
Oh, I
is
forgot they picked up Pagan too, right?
Oh, and they have Jonathan India.
yeah. They just re-signed him
trying
to
to-
two. He just re-signed 2 years.
Oh, he did. Okay,
$8 million.
that's their second baseman.
Yeah,
That's their
they
second
don't-
baseman.
Their
De La Cruz is
outfield.
the third baseman.
I don't know who their outfield is. Nick Martini.
Maybe Encarnacio can Strand. He's probably either their DH or their left fielder.
He's down here. They got him at first base, third base.
Okay.
So he'll be a first
Look
baseman.
at how young they are. I mean, De La Cruz.
They're all young.
They're all
That's
young.
going to be an
Fielders,
exciting team.
Will
in the next
Benson,
few
left
years.
fielders, TJ Friedel.
Oh, he's pretty good too. Yeah, I think their outfield is pretty much set.
Who's playing right field?
Will
Stuart
Benson.
Fairchild is out there.
Will Benson.
I mean, there's room for
TJ
Conforto on
Friedel.
that team. They need a veteran.
That's true. I mean, there might be.
They got so many minor leaguers.
What about
You
the
can-
Yankees?
You can
The
give
Yankees, yes, and that short porch.
you can go Conforto to the Reds. He'd be starting either in the outfield or DH, and the Giants could pay, $8 million of it, and the Reds are only on the hook for 10. And if they don't want to give up a good prospect, maybe they only have to give up $5 or $6 million, and the Reds take it. The Reds can afford it. Their overall total salary is like $98 million. Okay, They got plenty of room.
They do.
They could take Conforto's salary on and give up nobody. Basically,
And they have Spencer Steer too.
Spencer Steer's good. Yeah.
I mean, they're one of those
They're
guys
loaded and ready to go.
One of those guys has to play outfield, right? Because you got Encarnacion Strand, who's probably going to play first, right?
Yep. India at second.
India at second.
De La Cruz at short.
And then McLean at third. You still have Spencer Steer. He's either going to be the DH or he might play an outfield position.
right.
They have a really good young team. I wouldn't be surprised if
do.
they make the playoffs this year.
And they picked up a reliever and another starting pitcher, right? With Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
But we need 2 more players in, right? We need another guy in the lineup and a starting pitcher. That's what.
Okay,
we need.
what's the lineup right now? You got Estrada at second, Webb pitching. You got Bailey at Bailey catching. You got Wade and Flores at first, probably platooning.
Estrada at second.
Estrada at second. Most likely Luciano at short. Right now it's either Schmidt or Davis at third. Then you got
Left field right now is Conforto.
right now it's Conforto, Lee, and Yastrzemski, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Soler's the DH. I mean, I don't like that 3 outfield left hand. I don't like that.
What do you think about that, Bora? That's something we've been talking about.
See, I think
Trevor Bauer. You
I
can sign
really
him underneath
think
the league. Didn't he say league minimum? I'm good.
League minimum for Trevor Bauer, guys.
Oh my
I
God.
really think this would work out because I mean he is begging teams on
He
Twitter.
is.
He's
begging
begging
teams.
teams to give him a chance. So I just don't think
I
he's
mean,
gonna mess it up.
I don't think he would
This is
mess
his
it up
one opportunity. He's not
either.
gonna mess it up.
And if you guys have
Jack,
access,
I know.
if you have access to the on the board there, the PC, check that out.
Okay.
So both of you guys. So I really think this move with Soler, though, definitely is it's an excellent move by Farhan. It's a move I was calling for. I'm happy he did it. Like Senior said, he played 64 games in right field last year.
I'm gonna look at his defensive statistics.
Yeah, go for it. Okay, real quick, Dan, we got to ask the chat this because I know we got a little bit of pushback. I was looking at some of the comments on our Trevor Bauer video.
Yeah.
I mean, there. I can understand people's concerns. I really can because he.
Yeah, I don't think the Giants are going to do it.
He has a history.
I don't think the Giants are going to do it. A lot of teams aren't going to touch it. I think I would personally do it because I think would be a good ambassador. I think he's learned lessons. A lot of times your best players or best teammates or best workers are guys who know they're on their last chance. And they
have everything to lose. And
right. Everything to lose and in everything to gain in a way. So they're going to behave. Mike says domestic violence. No, it wasn't domestic violence. It wasn't domestic violence. This was a issue.
Allegedly,
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to get into all the details, but it was adult stuff, weird stuff that they both agreed upon prior to. And the lady basically said he beat her face in and all this, and she was injured. But there's video of her the morning after of her looking happy and not a mark on her face. So, was it dumb for Bauer to get involved with that in his position? Yeah, like I said, he wasn't thinking, he was thinking not with the upper part of his head.
whatever the details are. I mean, it's
right. It's out there. You guys can go find it. Just go Google it. You'll be able to find
it. But Bauer, you know what? Is begging to be on a team. He is begging.
I would tell you guys, go check Trevor Bauer out on a interview on YouTube with Patrick Bet David, PBD. Patrick Bet, BET David. Go check it out. It's about an hour and a half long. I think you'll come away with a whole different story. Patrick Bet David's a great interviewer of world leaders and top athletes. And he hit him pretty hard too. He told him, I wouldn't have done that. Why don't you do it this, but Bauer is he's,
he's a Cy Young pitcher. He's a Cy Young pitcher. I mean, he can definitely still pitch. I mean, what are you going to get him for? I doubt any team has offered him anything. You can probably get him for the league minimum. I mean,
he said he would sign for the minimum.
Exactly. I mean, that's basically nothing on your luxury tax, whatever you call it.
And you know what? You have nothing to lose because if you're not happy with his performance, you can just cut him.
Because you're going to have that in your contract. You're going to be like, if his attitude isn't up to par, he's going to be released. No strings attached.
Well, the bottom line is you sign him for a minimum, and if you just don't like anything, you don't like his performance for one outing, and say he doesn't have it anymore, you can let him go. You have so much control. I understand.
You have all the leverage. You have
Yeah.
all the
Yes.
leverage. Bauer
Yes.
Bauer has no leverage in negotiations in anything. If you give Bauer a 1-year, $1 million deal, he's gonna take it.
Well, that and then you throw in the incentives. He's
Exactly.
gonna,
I mean, yeah,
and if he meets
exactly.
those incentives, I mean, my goodness, he can end up making 10, 12 million, and then he reestablishes himself.
See, is he a PR nightmare though? Because I mean, if it was normal Bauer, then maybe.
And
But I mean,
here in this market,
initially,
it is unfortunately.
initially it might be. But I think if he says who he says, if Bauer says
Be right
what
back.
he wants to do and is going to do, and that's just pitch, then I don't think that's a PR nightmare. If he starts to pitch well and he's
And
just
that's the
quiet
thing.
and
Winning
he's
changes a lot of minds.
winning changes a lot of things, and getting strikeouts changes a lot of things. Kapler was a bigger PR nightmare than I think Kapler was a bigger locker room nuisance than what Bauer would be. I
Right.
really think so, because I think Kapler was just so about himself
And
and
isn't
so
this the perfect deal that
self-absorbed and
Farhan
everything.
loves? Right? Isn't this
Hey,
the perfect?
this would be
this
the
is like in his sweet spot for Farhan.
Okay, Farhan,
Right?
I'm talking directly to you. Do you know how much credit you're gonna get if you sign Bauer and he has a great season? Your job is basically secured. I mean, your job in the league is secured. You can be known as the Bauer resurgence guy. You made Bauer again. You would seriously do that. And I think that is a good thing on your resume. I mean, if you sign Bauer and he doesn't work out, that doesn't go on you. You took a chance.
Right.
And you know what? It didn't hurt at all, because
And
Bauer's good.
think about this. What has Farhan done his entire time here at the Giants? He does these marginal picks, right? Well, this is a guy to get it. He's come out and said, I'll sign for the major league minimum, right? Granted, I wouldn't do that.
And it's not like he hasn't pitched in 2 years. He's played in 2021 and he played in Japan last year, or Korea, wherever he played.
This is perfect for Farhan. This is the type of deals that he always finds. But the difference is this guy is a proven major league player caliber pitcher. He could do it, and you can get him for cheap. This is right in the sweet spot for Farhan, but it comes with some extra baggage. Does he want to go out there and be able to just now? Granted, he's already been cleared of all his charges. I understand that. There's still a history.
It's cancel culture, though. That's what it is. It's cancel culture.
Well, it's not that too, but he also has a history with the clubhouse. He's kind of
he does, yeah.
And maybe he's changed. We don't know.
People change.
Hey, you gave Larry Bear a second chance. You gave Larry Bear a second chance, who was publicly
got a point there.
And they rehabilitated. He went away, got counseling.
You brought in Kapler. What, didn't Kapler have something going on
in the Dodgers organization?
Exactly, and that was a serious thing. I mean, I remember wasn't one of the first things, there was like a news thing on Kapler about his past priors with the Dodgers. It was on like NBC Bay Area or something like that. I remember there was something about that, about Kapler's past. I mean, you've done this before. If Trevor Bauer's name was John Smith, he would be signed a month ago. Well, it's pretty much his name only that's carrying him down.
Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, Bauer did some dumb things with teams. He had a reputation of doing things his own way. He's older. He's admitted to his mistakes, his arrogance. He wasn't convicted in any way. He hasn't paid out any of settlements with these women. He actually went after them because they were trying to get his money. And so he sued them, and they all came to agreements without any money exchanged. So what does that tell you?
Put up a poll, Eric. You should put up a poll.
You want to do a poll? We could do a poll.
Did the Giants sign Bauer? Yes or no?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We got 175 people in the chat.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys supporting us. It's awesome. Thank you guys. Make sure you guys hit a like.
Hit the like out there.
And subscribe.
We're about the only ones out here covering the Giants on
daily
on a
basis.
daily basis, Monday through Friday, and sometimes weekends if something's happening. So we did an earlier show tonight, came back on as the news was released about Jorge Soler. I think there's still moves to be made, and if Farhan makes those moves, again, I'm not here to lambaste Farhan.
It's you
Man,
know
what?
what this channel I haven't been on in a minute, but what I know is like this channel will criticize Farhan if he doesn't make good moves, but we'll also praise him when he does make good moves. I mean, it's not like
Exactly.
we're just hating on him. We analyze what he does, and for the most part, he hasn't been a great GM. I think
Right.
that's the I mean, it's proven. It's like he
proven.
hasn't been the greatest GM. He hasn't been a good GM either. He's been a pretty bad GM up to this point.
Yeah,
This move, though, this is a good move, and we're going to praise this move because it's a good move. We're not going to be like, oh, you should have done this sooner, or it's about time. It's like, you know what? He got it done. It was a good move, and we're going to praise it. We're also not going to be like, oh, this just solidifies his tenure as a Giant. This proves that he's a great GM. No, it's a good move. We're going to take it slow.
Laura, I said this in the beginning. I hope this is the beginning and not the end.
Exactly.
That's
This can't be your final move and you just
Right.
go into spring training like this. There have to be other moves adjacent to this.
Yes, correct.
And those moves should be to trade Davis, trade Conforto, sign Bellinger, sign Snell, sign Montgomery, whatever it is, it should be of significance, and it should be it should help the team, really. I don't want to see any more of these Amir Garrett to a minor league deal or whatever,
Right,
TJ Hopkins or whoever they signed earlier in the year.
TJ Hopkins.
Exactly. No one cares because no one cares. You know what? They might turn into a role player. They might turn into a good role player. And that's the best case scenario. Because, I mean, and that's great. You know what? That's great. But that can't be your move of the offseason. And that can't be the headlines. And right now,
the Giants
they got Lee.
You don't need role players right now. We got plenty of role players. We need some good talent on this team if you want to go somewhere.
You got to sometimes you supplement role players for stars. Right now, you got to supplement stars for the role players, and that's what you need. Because I mean, I don't even know what Lee is projected to hit or what he's going to hit. He's a huge question mark. He could bat 150 with a 500 OPS. He could also bat 300 with the 850 OPS. He is a giant question mark. I think it's more likely that he isn't as good this year as a lot of people were expecting him to be. But you got Soler. Soler's a proven vet who is a power bat who can hit 30 to 35 home runs a year. Pretty much guaranteed. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to hit that 30 home run mark. Which
would be a first for the Giants since Barry Bonds in 2007.
You can't just call it quits right now. Keep on signing guys. Keep on supplementing the roster. Because I mean, you got Soler, who's a pretty good hitter. You got Wilmer, who's a pretty good hitter. You got Wade, who's a pretty good hitter.
Yep.
Wade had a good season last year.
By adding Soler to the lineup, you protect other guys. It makes your lineup better.
It makes your lineup better. Exactly.
So you need to add another hitter. And I don't know if that's going to be a Bellinger or a Chapman. Who's the remaining free agents out there
it's still Bellinger, Chapman, Snell, Montgomery, right? Those are the four main ones.
But is there any is Adam Duvall signed yet?
I don't think so. We got plenty of those kind of guys though.
No,
you got to get Bellinger.
Yeah, I think Bellinger's.
If you're gonna go get a bat, just go get Bellinger.
The thing is, isn't it more likely that the later the deal gets done, isn't it more likely that he would go back to the Cubs because he knows the team, he knows the organization?
I don't know. I was hearing a report earlier with this could bode well for possibly the Giants or maybe the Blue Jays. Jim Riley on what is it? Ball caps? What's it called? Ball cap?
Yeah.
Ballcap Sports,
Yep.
said something to the effect with Bellinger going back to the Cubs and Jeff Passan. It was like a bet, and Jeff Passan there was a signal like he gave, like, no,
Doesn't think it's gonna
don't
happen.
take that bet or something.
Okay.
Don't take that bet. It was some kind of bet or something, and he I just got the clip of it, so I may
I
not.
think
have it all
Bellinger
right.
on this team would be great. I mean, let's think of the best case scenario right now, right? Schmidt is the starting third baseman, and he takes a step forward. He's an elite defender. I think average hitter would be more than.
Hey, could you
more
hold
than
your
great.
thought 1 sec, Bora?
Yeah, that's fine.
We got 53 votes. We got 172 in the chat. Let's see if we can get it. Check the chat. The vote for Bauer. Let's get 100 votes on this, and then we'll take a screenshot of that and we'll publish that. I want to get a true 100 votes. It's a simple question. And the question is this: do you support the Giants signing Trevor Bauer? Yes or no? We've got 59 votes. Let's get that 60. Come on, everybody vote. I want 100 votes. I want to put that out there in the universe. I want the Giants to see this, because I think the Giants, if they saw that their fans were behind it or not behind it, it might affect their thinking, because they're definitely, if they thought the Giants fans were all for it, I think they'd be for it, because I think they're afraid of what maybe they're
the
afraid of
pushback is gonna be.
what some of the non-baseball fans will think. But those people, and maybe they're thinking of
And the
sponsors.
thing is that'll go on for like a couple days, a week, maybe.
Some people are afraid of sponsors. They're afraid of sponsors canceling.
I mean, you got a cruise patch as a sponsor. Can't get much
Come on.
worse. Okay, going back to my thought though, best case scenario, I think, is that Casey Schmidt takes over the third base position. He's a pretty good defender and an average hitter. I think that's all you need. You just need stability at that position. Luciano takes over that shortstop position, and he's pretty much an average player, because I think none of these guys need to be stars. They just got to have and show the potential to be there. They have to show that they're improving. I think if you trade Conforto, and Matos slides into that left field spot, I think if he can take a step forward, like all the reports are saying that he's like, and we saw the videos, right, that he's getting jacked and he's putting in the work. If Elliot Ramos can be utilized in a way that he's a pretty good pinch hitter, or he can come in when someone gets injured and be productive, I think that would be great. If Jung-Ho Lee can be a productive hitter and outfielder, if he can get on base, steal some bases, and if Jorge Soler can be that guy, that power guy to bring everybody in, if everything goes right and if things are looking good, then I think you might have a fringe playoff team. And you know what? That fringe playoff team is decently young. And if all your young players can get going, Schmidt, if Patrick Bailey takes a step forward too in the hitting department, Luciano, Matos, maybe even Fitzgerald, he might have a role on this team. If your young guys can take a step forward, I think your future is looking pretty good. And if you can, especially if you can sign Bellinger, that would, because Bellinger is your star, and that would give your whole lineup protection pretty much. There wouldn't be many holes in your lineup, and you would be an ascending team. You wouldn't necessarily be one of these 500 teams that just get it done.
Well, you remember
half the time.
Kruko's comment? He said, I believe, I have faith that Farhan is going to sign. Did he say star or superstar?
Super duper star, right?
Did he count Lee as that star or no?
I don't see how he could.
Super duper?
I don't see how he could. I mean, he's a superstar in Korea, but he's, unproven here in the major leagues. I think the only super duper star that you can actually say superstar would be Bellinger or Snell. because Snell's won 2 Cy Youngs. Bellinger's got an MVP coming off a really good season. The question of Bellinger, though, is going to be if you sign him to a long-term deal, does he take the easy way out? Does he is he going to be a guy that we don't know? Is he a guy that will
Revert back to
perform?
his injured self.
Yeah, will he revert to, well, I mean, and I don't know Cody, so I'm only looking at him based on what I've seen him with the Dodgers, the Cubs. He seems like a pretty low-key guy. Like he's not a guy that strikes me as
He's not one of your
fiery-
rah-rah guys.
Yeah.
He's definitely not one of your rah-rah guys. He's
Yeah.
not the guy that's going to give the speech.
right.
But you know what is guaranteed? It's not his batting, it's his defense. His defense is pretty much guaranteed. Unless he has like a major injury, knock on wood. But I mean, seriously, his defense is elite wherever he plays, whether it's at first base or center field. He is an elite defender. He has a great arm. He's a really good defender, and that's one thing the Giants need. They need defense. That's one of the reasons why they signed Lee. Lee is wide known as a pretty good defender who has range. That's what they need. Their defense has been a major issue the past 2 years.
Yeah.
That's what he said. In the last 2 years, they really weren't in or a team that could go out.
Agreed to sign. Yes.
Yep.
What do we got up here?
In the last 2 years, they really weren't a team that could go out and support a super duper star. Kruko said on KMBR on Thursday. I don't.
This is a month or two ago.
Yeah. Now they are, and I think they're going to get one this year. That's what he said.
Super duper star.
This was back in December 8th.
Okay, the super duper stars.
Is that before or after they signed him?
That's December 8th.
When did they sign Lee?
Oh, afterwards.
Okay.
Afterwards. But he's not.
Yeah. He's not the
He
super
thinks that's
duper
super duper then.
No, that's not super duper. He was thinking Otani or
He was Yamamoto.
And Otani signed on the 9th. Okay. Benji says. So I think it's and I don't know. I wouldn't call Bellinger a super duper star. It's not a great free agent class, but he's a star. He's not a
He was a super duper star last year. Last year, I think
don't
he
know
was
if
a super duper star.
Duper star. He was good.
I would put him in that super duper star just because of the elite defense as well.
Well,
'Cause
we
he's
did a
a true
ranking the other
two-way
night.
player.
We did a ranking the other night where one's, obviously a really bad player, two's below average, three's an average, four's a star, and five's a superstar. And we only had 12 superstars in the game.
That's fair. I would say that in my opinion, Bellinger on this team without Soler, without anybody else, would be a star. But I think the addition of Soler, and if the young guys can help provide that boost, he could be your superstar just because he would have some protection in the lineup. If he didn't have any protection in the lineup, pitchers would just be throwing around him. He would be getting walked a lot. He'd be chasing a lot because he would get anxious to hit. I would call Bellinger a superstar right now if he would be on this team right now. That's just my opinion though. And there's no consensus to what defines a superstar.
Right. I am looking.
And that's a good point. That's a good point by Mike. The Dodgers did let him go, right? I think that might bring him a little more motivation to play a little better.
We
and play for their arch rivals.
Exactly.
Yeah. We did a video a week or so ago, guys, that was on the 5 moves the Giants could make. Hi, Dan Cucimilio here for NorCal Sports
Can you hear that, guys?
Network
Yep.
on Sunday. I can't.
Before
So,
the Super Bowl with
I
the
don't
Niners
have
and
my-
Chiefs, not
but
much
this
happening
is-
in the world of
hey,
sports
look, I'm wearing
today.
the same
So
exact
I
thing.
thought I would come to you and tell you 5 moves. I think
Damn, you do laundry, Dan?
This
do
is over a
before
week ago,
spring
man.
training to make this team
That's
competitive
hilarious.
for a wild
I
card
got my
spot
same
in
hat, my same
2024. All right, here's the first move.
T-shirt.
Let me
long
show you
sleeve
first of
T-shirt on.
all what the Giants need to do when it comes to getting.
Let me
under
know
the
when that gets
CBT
to the
make these
5
moves.
things, and then I'll cut it.
And what we have
wanna
here
play the full
is
thing.
we have the
Oh, I can turn my
Cox
phone on and listen to
salaries
it.
there.
Here
If
we
you
go.
notice the column on the right says 197 for the Giants. Their actual 26-man roster is 157, but the CBT right here, CBT tax 40-man, they are sitting at 197 right now. So in order to make these 5 moves and make them stay under the competitive balance tax for 2024, which is, by the way, 237 million, the Giants are going to have to make some trades. And here's the first move. They need to get rid of Michael Conforto and his $18 million salary. I think Farhan, when he gave him the opt-out last year, probably the worst thing that could happen did happen. Conforto didn't have the bounce back year that Farhan was hoping he would have, and Giants fans, and he opted back in. And that really threw a monkey wrench, I believe, into the plans for 2024. So I would do everything I could to get rid of Michael Conforto. You might have to even pay $6 million of that salary to another team, maybe somebody like Cincinnati, where Joey Votto's gone and they could use some power in a short ballpark. I think Conforto could have a real big year somewhere like in Cincinnati, where he might be able to pop 25 plus homers in Cincinnati, or another park like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Some of those parks where the ball is, the fields are pretty short and the ball flies. So Michael Conforto, get rid of that $18 million contract. Secondly, you need to move on from Mike Yastrzemski. He's been a formidable ball player and a great teammate, and yet he's getting into his mid-30s or roughly 32-ish, and is he going to be here when the Giants get really good at some point? Not sure if that's going to be the case. Plus, he makes close to $8 million. I think he's at $7.9 million. So moving off of Mike Yastrzemski and Michael Conforto would save you $26 million. 26 minus the 197 would bring you down to 171. Okay, so now you can go all the way up to 237 million. How do you get the Giants to be better? You make a few moves. You sign Cody Bellinger as your keystone free agent signing of the offseason, and you make him the star that Mike Krukow basically said, if the Giants don't sign a superstar, he'll leave the show. Well, Farhan, we don't want Kruk to leave. You got to get a star. And Cody Bellinger's a former MVP, hit 47 home runs in 2019 before hurting his shoulder in the 2020 season. Had 2 terrible years following that in 21 and 22, but had a great year last year, a bounce back year. Bellinger's only 28. He's got speed. He's athletic. He's got some power. He can hit for average. Great defensive player. You can put him anywhere in the outfield, put him at first base. He's the kind of guy you want to have on your team. So Cody Bellinger is a signing, 7 years, $175 million. That's $25 million a year for AAV. 171 plus 25 brings you up to 196. Next, sign Jorge Soler as your 3 and 4 hitter, Bellinger. You can flip-flop them based on whatever the lineup is for the day, but flip-flop Soler, Bellinger in the 3-4 hole. 2 years, $30 million for Jorge Soler. That's $15 million AAV. Now you're at 211. and you're still under the 237. Next, Blake Snell to solidify the pitching staff and have a 1-2 combination of Logan Webb and Blake Snell. Scott Boras, Blake Snell's agent, said that he wants a higher AAV than what Yamamoto signed for the Dodgers. Yamamoto signed for 12 years at $325, which is basically a little over $27 million a year. So you signed Blake Snell to a similar deal that the New York Yankees signed Carlos Rodon last year, which was 6 years, $162. I think with the market being the way it is, there's not much people competing right now. I think you can get Blake Snell if you want to get that $28 million and beat Rodon's deal. 6 years, $168. That's $28 million a year. That brings you up to $239. Well, you say that's over $237. Yes, it is by $2 million. So what you do is you structure the contracts in the first year where you take $1 million off of that in the first year of all three players. Instead of 2 years giving Soler 15 and 15, you give him 14 and 16, okay? And with Bellinger, you go under the first year, you add it on to the back end, the $1 million. You stay under the 237 that way, and you still have room to make moves. Joey Bart, I'm not sure exactly what his salary is, but he can be moved at some point. And now I'm going to give you the bonus move. That's 5 moves I just gave you that improves the team by adding 3 star players: Cody Bellinger, Jorge Soler, and Blake Snell, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. I mean, the Giants are pretty competitive right now, right? As we look at this. So let's take a look at the summary of this, and I'll show you exactly what I just pointed out when we look at the summary. Here it is. Okay. Trading Conforto saves you $18 million. Maybe you have to pay $6 million of that to a team. Just get a minor league player. Don't have to really necessarily get a 40-man roster spot. Trade Conforto. Open up room for the guys you're going to pick up in free agency on the 40-man, and get a prospect that's maybe 3-4 years away, whatever, but a good prospect that has a lot of potential. And then trading Yaz saves you $8 million. Now, you signed Belly, there it is, 7 years, $175. Soler, 2 years for $30. Soler was making $13 million, by the way, with Miami, and opted out, and still hasn't found a home. And we see where some of the other guys have been signing similar to his skill set, and $15 million should be enough to get the deal done. Maybe you bump it up a little bit here or there, maybe on the back end. Maybe you go, like I said, $14 million the first year. Maybe you go $18 million next year, and give him $32 million just to get Soler to come to San Francisco. And then Blake Snell. Bob Melvin had stated that he would love to have a former player that he's coached before. He had Blake Snell the last couple of years in San Diego. And I don't think you need Matt Chapman, because if you sign Matt Chapman, you're not going to be able to do 1 or 2 of these other deals by signing either Bellinger or Snell. So this way you improve the team and you add some hitting. And I want to show you a bonus move. Here's the bonus move. Let me put this up here 1 second here, and I'm going to put up a trade for you. The 6th move, a bonus move here coming up. We've got a trade with the Marlins. There it is. The Giants are trading for Luis Arias, the 2-time batting champion, once in the American League with the Minnesota Twins and last year with the Miami Marlins. To do that deal, we look at the baseball trade values, and the Giants are giving a little more than what is Arias' value is at 30.2. Matos alone would do it, but I'm not sure if the Marlins would do that deal. So by adding in Joe Whitman, because the Marlins love starting pitching that is young and controllable, you're giving up almost 39 in value to get just over 30, but you get the two-time batting champ, Luis Arias. And let me show you the lineup, what this would look like with the Giants. You say, well, what are you going to do with Thairo Estrada if you've picked up Luis Arias at second base? Well, very simple. You make Thairo Estrada your Chris Taylor of the Los Angeles Dodgers, where one day he's playing left field, maybe 2 days a week he's playing left field. Another day he's playing third base, subbing in for either J.D. Davis, giving him a rest, or Casey Schmidt, who's ever playing third. Another day you play Estrada at shortstop. Maybe you play Estrada a couple days a week because, Luciano's struggling at the plate or possibly in the field. You also can put him at second base, giving Arias a rest. So Thairo Estrada becomes your super utility player where he's in the lineup at least 5 out of 6 games a week. And that will also give Estrada the chance to, last year he kind of broke down toward the end of the season. He did get hurt, but Estrada's never really played 162 games. So I think if you have Estrada for maybe 140, keep him a little bit rested, you can move him all around. So here's my starting lineup for the San Francisco Giants. And this lineup, I believe, can really contend. At the top of the lineup is Jung-Hoo Lee playing center field. Batting second, the 300 guaranteed plus hitter in the lineup, which the Giants haven't had since Buster Posey, Luis Arias. Batting third at DH, Jorge Soler. Didn't want to put Bellinger there at third because it would have been lefty, lefty, lefty. So we're going to break it up here and go lefty, lefty. Then we're going to go right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, batting third, Soler. Batting fourth, playing right field, Cody Bellinger. Batting fifth at third base, J.D. Davis. Batting sixth at first base, Lamont Wade. Batting seventh in left field, Thairo Estrada. In the eighth position, Patrick Bailey, your catcher, and then in the ninth spot, Marco Luciano. That gives you some power and speed at the bottom of the lineup, and you got speed at the top. And this is a lineup that will give guys like Soler, Bellinger, and Davis, and even Wade, even Estrada, guys getting on base and some RBIs. This is what the Giants need, is contact hitters for their ballpark. You got Jung-Hoo Lee. He's that type of hitter. And we know Luis Arias is. Arias can be had from the Marlins. Farhan just needs to get busy, and he needs to make some of these moves. It's not that difficult to make kinds of moves. We saw him just last week kind of move off of Ross Stripling and saving $9.5 million. All right. That should do it there, guys. Put that out about 10 days ago, roughly, maybe 8 days ago. I think those are doable moves. We saw the first one go down now with Soler. I've since kind of changed it after looking at things and some developments. Instead of trading Yaz, I would throw Davis in that deal. Either go with Casey Schmidt, because Yaz, I think, gives you that extra left-handed bat, because if you get rid of both Yaz and Conforto, you're losing one left-handed bat that could come off the bench, because you would be minusing that one player. So I also like the idea of Estrada being a Chris Taylor type, because I would love to have Luis Arias in this lineup. He's perfect for this ballpark. I mean, imagine, guys, if you actually did some of these trades and went out and got Luis Arias and got an Alex Bregman to play third base. And who cares if you went over the luxury tax for 1 year, right? I mean, you can always go back down. I
think they're eventually gonna have to part ways with one of Schmidt, Luciano, Estrada, or even
Matos.
Or no, I'm talking like infielders though,
Oh,
because
infielders.
I think there's a good chance that Ha-Sung Kim gets signed to this team next year. He's like best friends with
Jung-Hoo Lee.
Jung-Hoo Lee, and he's I think from all reports him and Melvin had a pretty good relationship. So I think that's a pretty not obvious signing, but that signing would just make a lot of sense. And he's an all-star caliber player. He's gonna make some good money. So I don't know if you move Estrada to the outfield and he becomes a full-time outfielder, or he becomes your mega Chris Taylor type where he plays everywhere literally.
That's what I would like.
Or you
Estrada
trade
to
him,
be.
or you
Yeah.
trade him.
I
But I think
think
there's a
Estrada would
good
be great
chance.
at that.
I think there's a good chance Ha-Sung Kim is going to be on this team next year.
Yeah, at that point you'll see. I really would love to see them get Arias because I think who's ever most aggressive with Miami loves young, controllable players, and they love great pitching. I mean, maybe you can get Arias. I mean, the trade values. The only piece that really brings anything is Matos. I would not trade Matos for anything, but for a league batting champ, a guy that's still got a couple more years of control, I would do that just because Arias is perfect for this ball. It's a big ballpark.
Arias is great. But the one thing is his defense is not too great.
It's not as great. Yeah, it's not as good
I'm not as moved as you are with Arias. I like Arias. I think he would be good on this team. But I would not give up Matos for him. I think Matos is going to break out this year. I think Matos is going to have a great season.
I hope so. I mean, I don't want to get rid of Matos. I'm just saying that for the Giants to do it, they don't have any.
Exactly,
they don't have enough. They don't have enough value in their system.
Yeah. That some caliber like him, that type of player would have to go. But I mean, Arias had like a career year last year. He's always been a really good player for average and for getting on base. But I think last year he just sort of took off. So I don't know if you're really gonna get that same year out of him, because he bat 354. The year before he was the batting champ, but he bat 316. So I mean he's gonna give you he's gonna give you that batting average, and he's gonna get on base. I just don't know if the difference from Estrada to him is worth giving up Luis Matos. And that's a discussion to be had. It's a good discussion to be had too, because you want to get better, but are you getting better? Are you getting better marginally, or are you getting better? I mean, astronomically. In my opinion, you're just getting a little better, and you're not getting better at defense. That's for sure, because he's not a good defender. I mean, you are technically getting better offensively, but I think Estrada does give you a little bit of what Arias gives you. Like he is that crafty, frisky type player, where he's gonna try to stretch a single into a double. He's pretty fast. He'll steal you 20 bases. I don't know if Arias will steal you 20 bases.
Arias is not a big as
no, he stole 3 bases
threat
last year.
He's not. He doesn't steal bases, but I don't think. I mean, I think Luis Arias in this ballpark is going to hit you 325 minimum. And a guy that's going to get on base. You want table setters for if you sign Bellinger, now that you have Soler, if you have those two guys in the lineup, now all of a sudden, what was my I had Bellinger or Soler 3, Bellinger 4. Who was I had JD Davis in the
JD
5
Davis.
spot. I mean, if you went out and let's say you wanted to move off of Davis and you said, you know what, we are going to sign Chapman and Schmidt's going to be kind of our backup
to be a shortstop plan because maybe we end up moving Luciano to the outfield at some point, or as a trade, whatever. I'm not a huge Matt Chapman fan, as I've said, but if you stick him in a lineup with Arias, Bellinger, and Soler, Matt Chapman suddenly becomes a solid piece. You see what I'm saying? He wouldn't fit this lineup at all right now. But if you had him surrounded where he doesn't have to be the guy that carries, you can stick him down in that 5-6 hole where he's going to drive in some key runs and he's going to give you Gold Glove third base. My issue with Chapman is I don't think if he signs a contract more than 2-3 years, it ages well.
Yeah, I'm totally against signing Chapman.
I
For 1
yeah, I
year,
don't
for 2 years, for 3 years, whatever it is.
I don't
think
want
Chapman,
I think Casey,
you have
yeah.
Chapman on this side and you have J.D. Davis and Casey Schmidt on this side. I think they're
Yes.
pretty much equal. For how many $1 million less? I mean, almost
Yeah.
about 20, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I say I wouldn't.
I'm
I don't
taking
like
Casey
the
Schmidt and
idea
J.D.
of.
Davis.
I don't like the idea of Chapman. I'm hoping he signs somewhere else. But I got this feeling that they're not done, and I got this feeling that they are looking at Chapman. I
See, I have the complete opposite feeling. I feel like they were in on Chapman to begin free agency, but he set his price. And you know what? I mean, we've heard the relationship between him and Melvin and him and Farhan and everything and how it worked in Oakland. I just think he would have signed already if the Giants were going to sign him. I mean, I strongly believe that. He's had the relationships, he's had the connections. From all accounts, they were pretty good. I really believe that if he was going to be a Giant, he would have signed within that like first 2 months of free agency because I think they would have gotten it done. I think he wants like that 6-year deal.
Yeah,
I think
and I don't think they're going to give him
not
that.
going to give him that.
I don't think he will. I don't think he's that dumb to do that because he got stuck with the Longoria deal that he didn't trade for.
Exactly.
And
How sad is that, Bora? He didn't sign within the first 2 months of free agency.
Who's that?
Bora says he would have signed within the first 2 months of free agency, man.
I mean, it's such a wide span.
So dumb, man. 2 months for to sign a free agent. God,
you know, it's crazy. My take on this is that they are the smaller the market. See, what happened was what drove the market for Ohtani and Yamamoto is several teams were in on him and wanted him and were aggressively going after him. So
no one wants these guys.
People don't want their prices. And so they're going to wait these guys out because there's no reason. You might be shopping against yourself. You don't know. And so there's no reason to go out and say, okay, we're going to meet your demands. Why? Nobody else wants I think
these guys
Chapman
expected to get the Yamamoto and Ohtani relative deals, but they're just not going to.
Yeah, I think Chapman right now is down to the Giants and the Cubs and maybe the Blue Jays, but I think they're out. I think it's the Giants and the Cubs, and I think the same with Bellinger. I think it's the Giants and the Cubs.
I think the Blue Jays are in on Bellinger,
and maybe Blue Jays are on Bellinger. Yeah. So you're not really, and these teams, you look at the Blue Jays, they're already over the luxury tax, right? They were at $250, I think, when we put the Cott salary up, right, guys?
Something
like that.
And then
are Chapman and Bellinger both Boris clients?
Yes.
All right, let me ask you guys a question. Would you sign Chapman for 6 years with Bellinger or neither of them? One or the other. You can't have one or the other. It's either both or none.
Holy crap, man.
How long's Bellinger?
Bellinger's like a 6-year deal. So the Bellinger deal is good, but the Chapman deal
You have to hold your nose. I don't know. Those are two
Wow.
contracts that could go bad in the last couple of years.
Because I would do,
I think
I
I'd
would do
pass.
Bellinger and Chapman with 6 in like 3 years, but I just can't pay Chapman for 6 years. I can't do it. That's just a horrible contract.
I would be a pass on that. 6 years. I mean, you're setting yourself up. If both those guys don't perform, you're really one guy not performing, you can live
Right.
with. Both
You-
guys not performing, man, you're
rough.
killing yourself. So I think Bellinger signs anywhere between.
These guys all have to sign within the
between
next,
now
like,
and
2
the start of the
weeks, right?
season.
But no, I'm going to predict the dollar amount. I think
Oh.
it's somewhere around let's see if he goes 7. I think he's somewhere, if it's shorter than 8, I think it's 25 million a year, 6 or 7 years, 6 years, 157, 175. If it's an 8-year deal, I think it's probably somewhere around 190. Maybe, I don't know if he makes the 200. I know that Boris really wants to push him up to, closer to 10, 250.
I don't
But
think he's going to get that because I
I
think
don't think he is
teams
either.
are still like, you know what, you're going to have to prove it again. You're not, or they're not saying you're going to have to prove it again, but they're not like 100% confident that
Yeah.
he's going to be playing he's going to be himself. Would you,
Hi, guys.
you know what? I could see, last thing. I could see Chapman signing for like a 6-year deal, but with the team option after like the 3rd or 4th year.
Well, that's what I originally put out there too. Is if you're going to sign Chapman, give me a team option after the 2nd year.
Yeah.
And then they get a team option after year 2, and if they don't exercise it, the rest is guaranteed. Something like that. Because I don't want to get stuck with maybe you have a higher. There's a way to do that, by the way, too. You could go 2 years, first 2 years, 30 million each. Follow me on this. Buyout, 10 million.
Yeah, I'm not paying him $30 million for the first 2 years. I'm just not doing that.
Hold on, listen. 30 million for 2 years each year, buyout 10 million. And then after years 3, 4, 5, and 6 are like, so you got 4 years left. That would be like 15 million a year. And so what happens is you owe 15 million a year for 4 more years. So it's a 6-year 120 contract, which is 20 AAV if he keep him the whole 6. But if you feel like after 2 years you want to cut bait, you pay the 10 million buyout. He gets 2 years for 75 million, and he has to go, or 70 million. So he made 35 million a year. But basically what you're doing is, by doing that, you're washing your hands, and you paid high, but you didn't get stuck for the last 4 years. And if he performs well and you keep him, you got him on the hook now for only 15 million a year for the next 4 years, because you've already paid out 60. So you only owe him 60 more, and he's tradable now, because that's not a bad contract at 15 million the last 4 years. I think, the Giants have the money to do that right now. And
that's I mean, I'm not going to say I could see that exact deal, but I could see Chapman getting one of these complicated deals that is like opt-out money, buyout money, whatever, after the first 2 or 3 years, because of his age and
Yeah,
what
I
he
mean
wants.
that's how I would structure a deal with him, because I'm not paying him 20 million a year or 18 million a year for 6 years. I'm just not, because it's, to me, you're going to get that's not going to age well. And if he's not willing to sign a deal, if Boris is stuck on him making 6 years where he's in control of all 6 years for close to 20 million a year, pass. Even 5 years,
Even
4 years,
I'd say
even
pass.
4. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think you might get a couple decent years out of Chapman.
Decent though. Like he's not gonna, if you get him, he's not gonna be hitting 280 with a
Oh, he hasn't hit over
50 OPS.
He hasn't hit
it's
over
gonna be like
250, Bora, in
yeah,
5
exactly.
years.
He's gonna hit 240 with like a 760 OPS.
Right.
With
That's
a bunch
what
of
it's gonna be.
strikeouts.
Yeah, with a bunch of strikeouts, and you already
Yeah.
have Jorge Soler and JD Davis, which it just
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense for me at all.
Yeah.
You want to get
Um,
that super chat, Dan?
Oh yeah, there we go. Hey, thanks, Jeff. Is this the first one, or is there another one in there?
No, this is the only one.
Okay.
He put that out there when your interview was going.
Okay, yeah. Have you seen Bauer on Theo Vaughn's podcast? I have not. I did see him on Patrick Bet David's podcast, which was like an hour and a half long. I would encourage you guys to go check that out on YouTube. Patrick Bet David. I think we can just put that up in the. Let me put that in the chat so you guys have it. There you go. Patrick Bet David, guys, right there. Go check it out. Trevor Bauer on YouTube, and you can hear a lot about what he was accused of, what happened. You'll see video evidence of he was totally the woman was totally lying about the situation. Judge said if that material or that evidence was available for the trial would have been dismissed. It was a waste of time. Yeah. So, but I will try and check that other one out on where'd that super chat go again? What was the name of it? Want to throw that up there again, Eric?
Yep, there you go.
Theo Vaughn. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Jeff.
Our poll, guys, we're 4 votes shy of 150. We've got most everybody.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's voted.
Has voted. Some people are coming out.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can pick up 4 more votes. Be a nice closeout at 150. So again, to recap, can we put the thumbnail back up, Eric, as a recap tonight?
Yeah. Boom.
Jorge Soler has reportedly agreed to a 3-year deal per Susan Slusser of the San Francisco Chronicle. Andrew Baggerly has reported that is about as good of a report that you can get, that it's counted as gospel. That was over an hour ago. He said that. Let me see if anything has been reported by Jeff Passan. He may be asleep.
They'll sleep.
Yep. So we may be the only ones on this, guys, at this late. For now, as far as actually covering this at this hour. No Bob Nightingale, nothing there. Who's the other one? John Morrissey might. Do we have
Ken
anything?
Rosenthal?
John Morrissey, nothing there. I'm
Ken Rosenthal. Did you check that one?
I didn't see anything earlier. I don't know about now.
Let me look. Ken.
All right, I'm gonna kill the vote. 150.
There we go. Put it up. Put the results up there. Take. All right, we'll take a look at the results, guys. As Eric, are you able to do that to show it or screenshot it?
That's what I'm gonna do right now. Hold on one second.
All right. 150 votes. Well, not a bad day to do it after the 49ers and the Bay Area is really down. I mean, I don't know how many people are aware of Jorge Soler out there. I mean, is he Shohei Ohtani? Nothing close, but he should be a productive Giant. I really like the idea of them going out and getting somebody like an Alex Bregman at third base, because I think the guy would just absolutely rake at Oracle Park. Here's the poll, guys.
There at the bottom.
At the bottom, the numbers are
150 votes. 72% say yes. 28% say no. And that is who you support.
150. That is 108 to 42. That's in the political arena, that's called a landslide.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can get that information over to the San Francisco Giants. I don't know if they'll do anything with it, but Giants sure could use a pitcher like that. And I always think what makes a good club is a real good mixture of a lot of young guys and some really solid, strong veteran players. You don't want to be all rookies like Cincinnati. You want to be because what's going to happen is when you're also young, you're going to have some ups and downs, and you're probably going to fade, but you're going to be good long term if you can stay the course. But if you want to compete right now and stay competitive going forward, you've got to have a few young guys. Look at the teams. Look at the Rangers. Evan Carter they introduced. The Astros a few years ago, Kyle Tucker and their shortstop that won the MVP in the World Series a couple years ago. You look at how they bring these young guys up. The Phillies had a couple of young guys, Alex Bohm, and you got to have a couple of young players that are growing with the team. And I think that will really help the Giants if they can add a couple more veterans along the lines of a Bellinger and a Snell. Then if you want to compete, keep signing Cubans, Cliff Martinez says. Yeah, Cubans can play ball. As Kyle McKiernan says, exactly the same 4 words I just said. Cubans can play ball. It's about the same time. We just hit that. That's funny. We'll see where this goes, but maybe there is another signing coming. This is Soler's not officially signed because he has to go through the physical. But once the physical is done and he signs, that will be after Wednesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday, so that's not going to happen until at least Wednesday when they put the 2 guys, Robbie Ray, and who was the other one they were going to put on the 60-day? Was it Cobb?
Cobb.
So Cobb, and the 60-day starts when? Does it start officially?
Wednesday, they said. I don't know if there's a back date or anything. I have no idea.
Was the first day of the 60-day start when then, or does it start when the season opener?
The way it sounds like that's when it starts. Is this Wednesday? I think. I could be
No,
wrong.
I mean, does there 60 days where they have to be on for 60 days? Does that start season opener game 1, or does it start in February?
I have no idea on that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because if it's 60 days, then you're definitely Cobb is missing all of April and May, which he probably is anyway. So I have a feeling it starts when the season starts, but I'm not sure. But as far as when they're on it, maybe not. Maybe if you can put them on the 60-day, maybe that means they're eligible 60 days from February. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, Benji says 60 days after season opener. Okay.
There you go.
That's kind of what I thought. I never otherwise.
But you can't put them on it until Wednesday. That's what it is.
Right. Okay. So what do we got here? Jorge Soler highlights again, and we're going to close the
same
show.
Stuff I was playing earlier. Yeah.
All right. We'll watch a little bit of Jorge Soler. Look at those gold chains, man. I love it.
He's got a lot of chains.
Yeah, let's get some flair, man. Get some Mato stuff going. Some Soler.
I'm gonna have to call it a night, guys.
Yeah, we're
Thanks,
closing it right out here. School back in.
Yep, school's back in business.
All right, man. Well, good to see you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
I'll see you guys later.
Have a
See you
good one.
guys.
Take it easy,
All
Bora.
right, bye. All right, so we're closing the show out, guys, as we watch Jorge. Is that Cease right there, or who is that? I
Middleton there.
How long does this go for?
It's another. We're halfway through 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh, okay. All right. It was
think it's
Giolito. Okay.
And there's Castillo, former Giant, right?
Yeah, is this all from just last year?
Last year, 2023
Finn.
highlights.
Do we have the 141 strikeouts too on here?
Oh my god.
Oh.
I know. All right, I think that's enough for now, huh?
Yeah, let me check something here. I'm getting a private message.
Woo!
Yeah, thanks, Eric. We did put that up there already, that article. Oh, that's MLB trade rumors. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, well, guys, big news. So we went 4 hours tonight, man. We did 2-hour shows.
Right.
All right, guys. Hey, Jorge Soler, San Francisco Giant. Hopefully we don't have a Carlos Correa situation. I don't think so. Pending physical. Always.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one tomorrow, Matt, for sure.
Yeah, we just knocked out Military History Chronicles with
some bombs.
With some bombs, yeah, some good bombs tonight. Good bombs.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining NorCal Sports Network. We're here. If you're new tonight and you haven't been on, we're here every night at 8:30 Pacific time, talking Giants baseball Monday through Friday. So join us, and tell your friends about us. We cover the Giants quite thoroughly. Warning: sometimes we can be critical, not because we're haters, but because we love the Giants and we want to see the Giants.
We want to see them win.
We want to see them win, and so we challenge them. We challenge them. Like, do they really want to win? We did a show the other night. So a move tonight, is in the right direction of showing me they're looking to win.
But it can't end.
Cannot end. If this is all you do, it really is just kind of putting lipstick on trying to put red lipstick on a pig, because this is
all they do, it's still a fourth place team.
Yeah, exactly. This helps, but they're two moves away, 2 to 3 moves away.
And let's
At least-
not forget, we're not competing for the NL West. That is
forget
not going to happen.
Yeah,
We're
forget the
trying-
NOS.
We're
Trying to just
trying to
get-
get into the wild card. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of where we've been relegated to. Is we got to get at least a wild card. Once you get into the show, you never know what can happen.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, that let's see. Let me just so anyway, guys, we will the 3 moves were Soler, Bellinger, Snell. If you went Bellinger, Soler, Montgomery, and the money was less, that would be okay too. I think
Neil.
Snell's a little more dominant.
Still got Bauer out there.
Yeah, Bauer. By the way, our poll ended. Bauer, 72% out of 150 votes, 108 votes. Yes, the Giants should sign Trevor Bauer. 42 votes or 28% said no. I think that's a pretty resounding yes, that the Giants fans, at least the Giants fans here, and I think we represent a pretty good core of who Giants fans really are, saying go sign Trevor Bauer. So
It's pretty broad.
San Francisco Giants, if you're listening, Trevor Bauer is available and the fans would support the move. So,
and if you're listening at 12:43 a.m.,
yeah,
You're dedicated.
If you're like me and nuts at 1:43, right? Time for me to go to
your eyes look like if I'm ready to go to sleep.
Yeah, I was ready to go to sleep after the first 2-hour show. Okay, guys, we will see you tomorrow night. Thanks for joining. Sleep well.
See you tomorrow. Woo!